I think that it is not good that you're using Vladimir Putin as some type of positive attribute metaphor for a leader.
That's not
okay?
That's not what I did at all.
Well, you're
saying that
you're saying, well, he's smart.
He is smart. So why would you not acknowledge someone smart? What does that do? Does that make me a Putin supporter? Because you're clearly smart.
No,
if you can sit down and unpack Russian history
right,
from the 8th century, what do you mean? What the point?
What's
the point is, it's like Cold War propaganda. We gotta move on from that. Okay.
But it's just as real now as it was
the
then.
1960s.
And remember, in America, these people are allowed to be here right now doing things they could never do in Russia. They have no press freedoms. When they try to exercise themselves, even on the internet,
starting to
they
sound
get
like
chased.
America today. Because January 6ers are locked up for wrongthink. You locked up grandmas for expressing their opinions.
I'm not doing it. I'm doing the opposite. I'm not triggered. What are you, 19? We're using 19-year-old woke language now that I'm triggered?
Because we are tired of being propagandized. We are tired of people pretending, if you live in Russia, there's going to be so much propaganda. There's so much propaganda here.
I agree.
Okay, we are suffering from the exact same things that you accuse Vladimir Putin of doing.
What is good, y'all? We back again with the Black Anomaly Rising Channel. Man, listen, Candace Owens, look, I ain't gonna cap. I used to not be a fan back in the days of me being a leftist. I was never like a deranged leftist, like just the Looney Tune level, but I was like a Democrat plantation leftist. And Candace Owens, like, I ain't gonna cap. I went in on her, okay? I jumped on board the wagon and was calling her all kinds of raccoons and all kinds of stuff, but I'm at fault. So if Candace Owens ever sees this video, Candace, I actually mean this, I apologize, because it was stupid and I didn't really understand what I was doing. Educated, but also woke indoctrination, like from places like college, news media, listening to the politicians, and so forth. Okay, echo chambers, all of that stuff. But today we got Candace Owens going in, okay, on Chris Cuomo. Now this dude, for anyone who used to watch CNN, he's a complete clown, and he basically got busted supporting his crooked brother, Andrew Cuomo, the guy who could not stand to go 2 minutes without being on TV proclaiming himself as a hero for how he handled the C-19 virus, even though he literally lied to the government, saying that there were only 5,000 deaths rather than 10,000. But essentially, he wasn't able to get away with that until the Me Too movement came for him. Something that both Andrew and Chris Cuomo had historically supported. And then, of course, Andrew ended up succumbing to his own vice, which was the Me Too movement. Okay, but now you got this podcast with Patrick Bet-David, okay, great podcaster. He's one of my favorites. I'm always entertained whenever I watch this dude, and he's definitely one of the best, very smart and intelligent guy. He got a whole team, okay, so he's good. He's a solid businessman, knows what the hell he's talking about, very conservative guy, okay, and very intelligent people on his team. And Candace Owens joined them today. They were talking about the State of the Union address and how they felt about it. In this exchange, Candace Owens and Chris Cuomo were going blow for blow. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna stop hyping this up. Let's just get into it.
Can I also add the contrast, by the way, and I think that this is actually relevant, but you also have to recognize that Tucker just went over and interviewed Vladimir Putin. And this is significant because then you saw what it looks like when somebody not only has the mental faculty, I mean, irrespective of what you thought about the interview, you cannot, you are forced to acknowledge that he's an incredibly smart person. I mean, he started in the 8th century. Forget, I mean, I don't even think Tucker thought he was being...
So for those, again, who weren't aware of this, Tucker Carlson did an interview with Vladimir Putin, and Putin went over this whole history lesson of Russia. Now, whether or not you believe his accounts of Russia, I mean, just pick up a history book and see for yourself. But that's what he did, and basically Chris Cuomo, he's not having any of it. He basically just says everything that Putin says is a lie. We shouldn't listen to him. We shouldn't even bring him up, so on and so forth.
Rolled, right? It's just, well, in 8th century, and he's going through the entire history of Russia, starting from the 8th century, right? And truly, Biden couldn't have started from yesterday at 8 p.m. and recounted what he had done. So there's also this contrast that's playing out.
But it's a very good point you're making, because as a leader of a nation, you want somebody to be able to impose themselves. He gave a clinic and taught the world Russian history.
Right.
If you really think about it. Hey, this is what we're all about. I know I gave you 2 hours. I'm going to teach the world why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is the reason, right? And you can love me.
Again, as a recap, this was in response to Tucker's question, why did you invade Ukraine? The question everybody wants to know. Then Putin gave this very long-winded answer where he went over all the history.
You can hate him. You cannot criticize him for his agenda that he came in to do. And we did not see that yesterday.
Correct.
And by the way, how about yourself? What did you think about it?
I think that it is not good that you're using Vladimir Putin as some type of positive attribute metaphor for a leader.
That's not
okay?
that's not what I did at all.
Well,
You're saying that
you're saying, well, he's smart.
He is smart. So why would you not acknowledge someone smart? What does that do? Does that make me a Putin supporter? Because you're clearly smart.
No,
if you can sit down and unpack Russian history
right, but
from the 8th
point?
century, what do you mean? What the point?
What's
the point
the
is
point?
to say that the entire world can now see this contrast of a man who can't remember what happened 2 hours ago, who still thinks that his son is alive, sadly, and often brings up his son as if he's still alive.
True.
What do you mean that's not? What is
you
not
don't
true?
Need, see, look.
What is not true, Chris? Actually say
he
what
does
is not true.
Think, you're really going to say that Joe Biden believes that his son Beau is alive?
He has done that on camera. He has said
he has misspoken as an old man that is talking about something that hurts him.
Listen to you. No, Chris.
Listen, again.
There's no reason to do this. You're doing so great. I'm not going to let you do this to yourself. Like, what? No, seriously. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to do it.
You
Obviously.
see, even Candace Owens is trying to stop this man from shilling for Joe Biden. So here's the thing. He's on, this is a long podcast, so I didn't cover the whole thing, but earlier in the podcast, and I encourage anyone watching this to actually go back and watch that, but this guy basically went out of his way to defend the left and Joe Biden, but also is trying to say, oh, I'm not just this hardcore deranged leftist or Democrat or loyal to the party. But it sure as hell sounds like it in moments like this. Am I wrong? I don't think so.
Vladimir Putin is intelligent. There's no reason, doesn't make you anything to acknowledge the fact that any person that can for an hour straight unpack the history of their country starting from the 8th century has their mental faculties about them.
Okay.
That is the only thing that I have made, and I said that contrast is now playing out in the American people's mind of, wow, okay, I don't care what I think about Vladimir Putin or Russia, right? But the fact that they have a leader who can speak in this manner, right, who is able to remember these things and to communicate in this manner makes us aware of how much we are not getting out of our own leaders. That is a very valid point.
Okay, I get it. I hear you. And I completely disagree, okay? Because again, picking a metric of what's the guy's IQ is not enough for me. First of all, he did not give you. I'll tell you why. Because it's what do you do with your intelligence? You think he gave you an accurate recitation of Russian history starting in the 8th century because Candace just said so. She's wrong and you're wrong, okay? He did not give you an accurate recitation. He gave you a KGB doctored look at why it's okay that he wants to reestablish the Soviet Union.
So I don't know. You guys tell me, because I'd be willing to bet that majority of people do not go to Google, go to a library, go to Amazon and do a bunch of research on Russia, on Ukraine to see if what Putin said was true. Majority of people have not done that and will not do it. And I guarantee you that our politicians have not done it, right? I don't even think they care at all. I just think that they have their little war propaganda stuff. They're making their money. That's what they care about. Okay, as far as boots on the ground and who's going to war with who, they don't care about that stuff because they know, being the ones in power, they're in control. They could shield themselves, their family, so forth from anything bad happening. Okay, it doesn't really matter to them if somebody's son or daughter gets shipped off and gets kaboomed in some other foreign nation, away from home, away from family, helpless, okay, scared, all of this stuff. They don't care about that. They care about themselves. But as far as the history, the only thing that I'll say is if you're going to challenge it, then you got to actually do the research on it and find out what it is prior to just saying like, well, he lied. Chris, Chris isn't even saying how the hell he even knows that that's true, that he lied about the history. What specifically did he lie about, Chris?
That's what he gave.
Oh, stop it.
Listen,
Stop
I'm not here
it.
to play Russia good, Russia bad, okay?
Russia has a smaller
No,
GDP.
Chris is full. He's so full of crap. That's exactly what he's doing because he won't even let Candace say what she said, which is that Putin gave, he can clearly speak and he appeared to be a strong leader, which Joe Biden can't do either. He cannot clearly speak and he is not a strong leader. It's that simple. It doesn't mean you're a good leader. It doesn't mean we want you to be the leader, but it means that you're a strong leader who can clearly speak. Like those are two different things, strong versus good and being able to speak versus not. I mean, these are pretty clear things. There's definite differentiators here.
California. He's
So
not,
what? So
like,
what? They're also invading a country right now just for
that
avarice.
Americans are economically
Look,
so unintelligible that they are going to believe
what I'm
that
saying
the threat
is-
that we are facing today is Russia trying to reestablish. So this is like Cold War propaganda. We got to move on from that, okay?
But it's just as real now
this
as it
isn't
was
the
then.
1960s.
And remember, in America, these people are allowed to be here right now doing things they could never do in Russia. Never. Nobody can speak out against Putin. He is at over 75% in popularity polls because people know what happens if you answer differently. They make no money. They have no press freedoms. When they try to exercise themselves, even on the internet,
Starting to
they
sound
get
like
chased.
America today. January 6ers are
and
locked
that
up
is-
for
and that is
wrongthink.
something
You
to-
locked up grandmas for expressing
That
their
is something to be
opinions.
concerned about.
You are saying
that is
that
something
if you
to be
speak,
concerned about.
That is correct.
Not
Freedom
admired,
of press. You're
but
sitting
used
here.
as a point
they
of
wanted
fear.
to arrest Tucker Carlson for going over to speak to a leader of a country that we are allegedly not at
Listen,
war with.
Y'all remember the meltdowns? Look, I didn't have a chance to make a video about that at the time, but they were freaking melting down just at the thought of Tucker interviewing Putin, saying he's going to spread Russian lies. He's a Putin propagandist. They were going nuts. These people are wackos. They've lost it. Like, they got my voice cracking because I'm crazy. These people have become to where now you can't even let a dude speak because, oh, no. We only need to let the American propagandist speak. Don't let Vladimir Putin, a foreign leader. We're not talking about some other diplomat, some delegates, members of his cabinet, his team, whatever. We're talking about a leader of a country that America is on the cusp of going to war with, and we can't even hear what the heck he has to say. We don't have to believe what he says, but hearing it, they don't want even the possibility that you might believe anything that he says. You sure we could call this a free nation? When they're talking about locking up Tucker Carlson, they hacked his laptop. Y'all didn't know about that? Or is highly suspected that they hacked his laptop. He knows for a fact they did it once. He suspects they did it twice, but he has not proven that they've done it the second time. But it was both times he was going to go to Russia. He got hacked by U.S. government, illegally, of course.
So you're also describing America while you are
I am
telling us.
not describing America.
Yeah,
I'm describing what America should not be. So be careful about putting up a model of what you think has some value.
Nobody said there
That's
was a
what I'm
model.
saying.
We just said that it's
That's what
very
I'm saying.
obvious that Putin can complete a sentence and that Biden can't.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm
can
not.
complete a sentence. He can also
weird
likely
Cold War
murder his
vibe.
opponents. And that's a function of his intelligence also, because it's not guided by any sense of morality. And that matters too. And Tucker making the decision.
Gonzalo Lira was just killed by Zelensky. He's a thug. We shouldn't be supporting Ukraine at all, not a single dollar.
Even if that were true, which neither of us know whether it is, then that's a policy argument. Have the policy argument. The idea of good and evil, right and wrong, cheapens it. It cheapens it.
But you just did that.
I'm not doing it. I'm doing the opposite. I'm not triggered. What are you, 19? We're using 19-year-old woke language now that I'm triggered?
Okay,
I'm not triggered. I got my legs crossed. It means I'm comfortable.
I mean, in fairness, I don't remember how old Candace Owens is, but I mean, Chris Cuomo is obviously older than her, and Candace looks damn good for whatever age she is. I think she's younger than me. I have to double check, but I think Candace is literally a younger age than I am. I got to double check. Matter of fact, I'm going to look this up right now. All right, Candace Owens is 34. So technically, she is literally younger than me. So of course she's gonna use language that resonates more with a younger audience. Like, this is just stupid.
Oh, you just seemed a little triggered. You like
Well, I don't like setting up Putin as a model.
I didn't. Nobody here. Everyone is listening to what I said, and I'm gonna not just double down. I'm gonna triple down, quadruple down on the fact that it's very obvious to the American people that our leaders are extremely lackluster, and that has been made even more abundantly clear after having watched Tucker Carlson sit across from Vladimir Putin, which was heroic on his part, because we are tired of being propagandized. We are tired of people pretending, if you live in Russia, there's going to be so much propaganda. There's so much propaganda here.
I agree.
Okay, we are suffering from the exact same things that you accuse Vladimir Putin of doing.
I agree.
Locking up people's opponents, right?
I agree. I don't agree with locking up their opponents.
FBI agents showing up on American people's doorsteps because they attended a rally on January 6th. 3 of my friends had FBI agents. They didn't even step foot in the Capitol, okay? Had FBI agents show up because they wanted any person that even showed up to hear Trump speak on January 6th to feel threatened by that, because the establishment said that you weren't allowed to support Donald Trump, okay? So I'm going to speak to how the public is feeling right now. And we are very aware of the fact that Joe Biden could potentially be dead right now, okay? We don't even know, like, he can barely make it through a sentence. And when we see somebody like Vladimir Putin who is able to, is what?
You do know that Joe Biden's not dead.
Tongue-in-cheek.
And you do know that he wasn't shot up with something.
No, I actually don't.
Yo, did y'all see that freaking State of the Union address? This guy's trying to argue that Joe Biden wasn't shot up with anything. Joe Biden, I do videos on this channel every damn day, okay? Joe Biden, I've seen so many clips and speeches of Joe Biden, and he's always talking kind of like this, where you can barely understand what the hell he's saying, and he's breathing and really talking really slow, and can't remember what the hell he's talking. It's ridiculous. And then suddenly you get to the State of the Union and he's just Mr. Spry. Okay, he's talking loud and aggressive and he's talking a mile a minute. This dude seemed like he was clearly doped up on something. Like, are you freaking kidding me, Chris? Are you joking right now? He just got really good sleep before. He was really determined in this State of the Union address. This guy is delusional. I don't understand, like, just the level of cope and excuses is beyond me.
I really do believe he was shot up with adrenaline before he goes.
On.
What do you mean, come on? JFK used to do that.
Come on.
So it's like,
listen,
they obviously are giving him drugs before he speaks.
The truth is enough. And I'll tell you why it becomes problematic, okay? Look, it's a half joke. They shot Biden up with something last night.
It's not a half joke. I really believe that.
Here's what happens. Well, look, if you really believe that,
Yes.
that's fine. It would be just nice to have a basis for it. But yeah, he's going to take a drug test. Okay. Look, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen, okay? Just trust me on this, because you've already seen it. You're going to know that it's already true. You are allowing for a BS standard of appraisal. So now...
Intelligence is a BS standard?
It's not intelligent. It's the shooting up part. So now they'll start showing clips of Trump where it seems that he's not speaking fluidly. And they'll talk about whether he's on drugs. And
they did that already.
They will, but that's what you enable.
Dude, this dude has like 90 plus freaking charges, 4 indictments, multiple civil cases against him. There's talk about other additional civil cases against Trump. Okay, they're already trying everything. What are you talking about? Whenever Trump was at a rally and he was sweating and they were talking about Trump is looking sickly at the rally. And he literally commented at the rally and said, it's really hot here. He's like, it's hot. He's like, the AC is not working. And they tried to say that Trump looks sick. They literally try everything. They've tried to say that Trump, especially, remember that clown Bill Maher? He's tried to say that Donald Trump is just as bad cognitively as Joe Biden. That's what Bill Maher thinks. He's doubled and tripled down on this because he knows that you can't deny it for Joe Biden. So instead, he's trying to find a parallel with Trump. He's like, well, Trump is bad cognitively too. They're the same age. I'm like, what? Trump, hasn't had no speeches with that low behind, sorry behind energy that Joe Biden has, where he's just, you can't really understand what the heck he's even saying. Like, it is pathetic. At this point, you feel sorry for Joe Biden more so than you just can't stand the guy. Well, then again, I don't know. I really can't stand him. But I even still feel sorry for all them times he falling over. How many times y'all seen Trump fall over like that? Come on, bro. Wake up.
I'm saying just stick with the truth. Are our leaders performing the way we need them to be? Come on, it's a rhetorical question. No. Just stick with the truth. The problem is when you get into these situations of comparing a guy who's just a bad guy with what you want in your own leadership, I don't think it sends you to the right place.
Truth is that.
I mean, well, hold on a sec. Before we let Candace smoke this man, finish smoking him, Joe Biden's just a bad guy. Lying about inflation, sending all our money, stolen money, over to Ukraine and Russia. You can't, like, opt out of taxes. I mean, you could say, like, hey, I don't want to pay them right now, but they just come after you later, right? But sending all our money over to Ukraine, and there's plenty of corruption over there, Christian persecution over there. Sending all our money to Israel, where they doing who knows what to people over in Gaza. We don't have no visibility into that. We just got to trust that they're doing the right thing, which it sounds like they're not. Right? So sending humanitarian aid to Palestinians, and then the terrorists just going and taking the aid, but they're trying to send the aid to look like they're doing something good. Meanwhile, they're helping the terrorists out inadvertently, but they're still doing it, right? Ignoring all the people in America who are demanding that they stop doing this foolishness, just ignoring them, lying. Like he lied on Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders shilling butt stood right behind him and said, you know what, we're going to support Joe Biden. Even though even though Joe Biden lied on Bernie Sanders and lied about not wanting to cut Social Security, they should show commercials where Joe Biden said he wanted to cut Social Security. And Bernie Sanders brought that up in a debate, and Joe Biden just lied and said he never said that, which he literally had been saying for years prior to this, including they were showing in the commercials, even when there was breaks in the debate time, they would have the commercial playing during the debate. And then after the debate and Bernie Sanders ends up losing, then he's like, you know what, I'm going to stand behind Joe Biden. I'm like, this dude is literally a liar. He lied during the debates. He lied to your face, and you're standing behind him? In all of these different lies that he proposes, he was a segregationist in the past. All of this stuff, and then he wants to turn around and try to call Trump and Trump supporters racist. Like, I'm black. Am I racist? Like, okay, that's retarded. But then turn around and this guy tries to turn around and say that, oh, well, Putin's a bad guy. Maybe he is. What makes him different from Joe Biden? The DOJ is doing everything they can to try to lock Trump up. Lock up your political opponents. All the stuff that he's talking about Putin trying to do, Joe Biden either has done or is trying to do. What's the difference between Putin and Biden again?
Vladimir Putin was able to communicate in a way that was coherent.
Would you want Vladimir Putin to be your president?
This is such a fine statement.
Would you want Vladimir Putin to be your president?
That's not what I said.
I'm asking you a question.
That's not what I said.
I'm asking you a question.
No, but you're asking the question because you still cannot deal with the fact that I have accurately described Vladimir Putin as coherent. He is.
There's no question he's coherent. I'm just saying.
Do you think he's smart?
I think he's an intelligent man, yes.
That's all I said. Oh my God, we got there. We can move on. Good. Listen. Oh my God, we got there. It's just, that's all I said, right?
But it's about why you're using him as an instruction. I have sat across from serial killers that are intelligent men. I don't want them deciding my taxes.
Did I say that I wanted Vladimir Putin to decide my taxes?
But why hold him up as an example? Why hold him up as an example?
We are talking about
it's like when Trump said Duterte is a tough guy.
Everyone else is able to comprehend this, so I'm going to restate it one more time.
One more time.
Okay? We are talking about the State of the Union. I'm talking about the mindset of Americans that understand this is all very performative and the insult to have him up there as if he is the leader of our nation, especially following the interview that we all watched in which Vladimir Putin first and foremost made it clear that he doesn't view our leaders as even leading the country. He views them all as puppets, and that he
but you're still using Putin as a positive comparison
this
to who
is-
we have. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing in terms of the logic.
This is how I take it,
You are missing.
Chris. This is how I take it from the outside. I take it as I want to know everybody's leader on how they are, how formidable they are,
Yes.
and can mine go up against that leader. If
Hell
Putin
no.
and Biden are in
Hell
a
no.
negotiation table, we're gonna lose.
Yeah,
That's all I'm thinking.
That's facts, yo. That is facts. Patrick Bet David coming through at the end in the clutch and spitting straight facts. Like Vladimir Putin, he's an older guy too, but he is sharp. And he is not to be underestimated. The truth of the matter is this. Nobody on this panel and myself, we're not some sort of Putin apologist, but we recognize game. Putin is stronger than feeble behind washed up Joe Biden. Okay, Joe Biden looks like he's about to turn to dust any second now. Okay, Vladimir Putin doesn't. Okay, they've literally shown him with his shirt off. The dude is muscular. He work out. Joe Biden rides bikes. Vladimir Putin power lifts. Okay, this is something to not underestimate, and we need a strong leader in America. That's the whole point, is the juxtaposition. We need a strong leader in America who could actually go toe to toe with Vladimir Putin. Trump literally had a good diplomatic relationship with Putin. There's nothing wrong with talking to these people because we live in a society and we have to be friendly. Otherwise, everybody's just going to get killed. Okay, it's just gonna be world war. Somebody's gonna nuke somebody, and whoever left gonna nuke their other people, and then everybody gonna be gone. Okay, so we need to have some sort of diplomacy here. It doesn't need to be this adversarial nonsense that the Democrats primarily, a lot of the Republicans do this too, especially people like Mike Pence, stuff like that, Nikki Haley, warmongers. They'll end up getting everybody killed. But Donald Trump had a solution to try to just, look, we gonna stay out of y'all way, y'all stay out of our way, don't start no wars with nobody, and everything gonna be cool. Under Joe Biden, he's a weak, pathetic old man. I would be like, I don't care about you, Joe. I'm about to take over whatever hell territory I want in these 4 years. Good luck stopping me. And that's exactly what Putin did. And it would not surprise me if we didn't see some movement from China prior to the Trump administration kicking in 2025. Because you know that China is talking about Taiwan. And to be honest with you, now's the perfect time for them because it's going to be too late after Trump take office. Either that or maybe after. I don't really know. But certainly not after Trump takes office. And when I say after, I mean after Trump's administration. But anyway, guys, look. This dude is an idiot. Like, I don't know why to keep inviting him on here. I feel like he's just abusing himself. He need to go sit his ass down somewhere. It's over for you, Chris. You and your crooked behind brother been exposed. It's over. Stop getting on TV and talking. I mean, it's good for content, so I appreciate the views, but you really need to go sit your butt down somewhere. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
You know, I'm happy he made it through the end. The bar has been very low. Even titling it is State of the Union, as you said accurately, it's a state of disunion, and he didn't die.